If you enjoy the stories on my channel, please consider subscribing. Your support inspires me to keep sharing these moments with you. Thank you so much. Now, let's dive into today's story. I used to think revenge only existed in movies, over the top, theatrical, perfectly timed. I never imagined it would enter my life quietly, dressed in the skin of the man I once loved. The man I married. The man I betrayed. It all started with a lie. A small one, or so I thought at the time. Just a dinner after work with a colleague named Colin. Drinks, shared laughter, a kiss I swore meant nothing. But once you cross a line like that, it becomes frighteningly easy to keep crossing. I'm not saying this to defend myself. I cheated. Repeatedly. For 7 months, it was always Colin. Always under the delusion that I was in control. That my husband, Mark, would never find out. Mark was predictable, dedicated. He worked long shifts at the hospital and followed a quiet routine. He didn't question when I came home late. He didn't pry when I checked my phone too often. Or at least I thought he didn't notice. We had been married for 5 years. We met in college. Mark was training to be a nurse, and I was working my way through business school. Our relationship felt stable, secure, built on trust. Or rather, his trust in me. I was the one who shattered it. There were no dramatic confrontations. No yelling matches. No slammed doors in the middle of the night. And that's what still haunts me. When Mark found out, he didn't yell. He didn't cry. He didn't even hint that he knew. Instead, he smiled. He kissed my forehead every morning and asked if I wanted coffee, like nothing had changed. I only realized he knew when everything else began to fall apart. I worked in HR for a mid-sized tech firm. The pay was decent, the benefits solid, and I liked the respect that came with the role. That job gave me a sense of power and identity. One Monday morning, my supervisor Trina called me into her office. She couldn't even meet my eyes. Her voice was tense, her words carefully chosen. Someone had filed a complaint, a detailed, anonymous report accusing me of unprofessional behavior and a conflict of interest. The affair with Colin, who worked in another department, had been documented in painful, vivid detail, dates, times, even screenshots of our conversations. I denied it, of course. But Trina had seen enough. I was escorted out of the building with a cardboard box and a final paycheck that felt like a punch to the gut. Colin didn't return my calls. Didn't even offer a warning. I later found out he'd been promoted. Still dazed, I returned home early that afternoon. My heels echoed down the hall like they were mocking me. Mark was seated at the kitchen table, sipping coffee, as if it were any other day off. "You're home early," he said, not even looking up. "I got fired," I blurted. Finally, he looked at me. And the way he smiled, slow, knowing, almost serene, sent a chill down my spine. "Oh," he said calmly. "That must be hard." That's when I knew. I tried to play dumb, asking questions I already knew the answers to. Who could have reported me? How did they get that information? Mark tilted his head. "Funny how these things come to light, huh?" I demanded to know if it was him. He chuckled softly. "You think I'd destroy your life over an affair?"
No, sweetheart.
That's not revenge. That's karma. That night, I didn't sleep. My mind spiraled with questions. Was it really him? And if it was, what else was he planning? The answer came quickly. Over the next few weeks, everything started to fall apart. My closest friends began to pull away. Texts went unanswered. One even blocked me. I later discovered that someone had anonymously shared explicit messages, my messages, with Colin in a private group chat. A chat I didn't even know existed. Then my parents called. My conservative, image-obsessed parents. My mother was hysterical. Someone had sent them a letter, no return address, with screenshots and summaries of everything I had done. Attached was a note that read, "This is the daughter you're so proud of." I was humiliated, cornered, isolated. And through it all, Mark remained eerily calm. He never yelled, never accused. He just watched. I begged him to talk to me, begged for forgiveness. I cried, screamed, promised to go to therapy, swore I'd change. He only smiled, quiet, cold, resolved. And then came the final blow. One evening, after yet another demoralizing job interview, I came home to find all my belongings packed into boxes. Mark stood by the door, holding an envelope. "What is this?" I asked, my voice trembling. "Divorce papers," he said. "You don't have to sign them tonight, but I want you out by the weekend." I collapsed on the floor, sobbing, clutching his hand, begging. He didn't flinch. "You didn't just cheat on me," he said quietly. "You made me feel invisible, like I was a placeholder while you played house. So now you get to know what that feels like." "You ruined my life," I whispered through tears. "No," he said, kneeling beside me. "You did that." I just let the truth out. He never raised his voice, never hit me, never threw anything. But that cold, calculated dismantling of my world, it cut deeper than any slap ever could. By the time I moved out, all I had left was a suitcase and a used car. My savings were gone, my reputation in ruins, my self-worth obliterated. In desperation, I tried to reach out to Colin again, not because I loved him, but because he was all I had left. He ghosted me. It's been nearly a year now. I live in a tiny apartment with peeling wallpaper and neighbors who argue through the walls. I work 2 part-time jobs. No one here knows who I used to be, and maybe that's for the best. I still think about Mark. Sometimes I imagine running into him and what I'd say. Sometimes I draft long, heartfelt apologies I'll never send. But mostly I sit in silence and let the weight of everything I did settle around me. He never hit me, never screamed, never cursed, but he destroyed me in a way no rage ever could. Silently, methodically, intentionally. I once believed love could survive anything, even betrayal. But now I know the truth. Love can break you. But revenge? Revenge waits. And when it strikes, it doesn't roar. It whispers.